Yes, you're going to have people turn their backs, but it's time for us to keep it real. Just keep talking that real, bro. Do what you do. I know what you do, so keep doing that. Talk the real.
The HBI lads will see you now. See you now. See you now.
I don't want to cause no problems. I just want to live my life, but I keep on hearing about nonsense.
And we're back. HBI podcast, health, business, and in between. My name is Dr. Nathan Bridger. I am a chiropractor and strength and conditioning coach working out of North Fremantle. My business is North Fremantle Chiropractic because I'm an original cat like that. Joined, as always, by the weapons. That's right, I used plural today because I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to introduce first. Well, I think he's hit hard times because out of the three of us, he's the only one who's still got cords in his earphones. He's got to join us in the AirPod Brigade. Mr. Mina, my therapist. Why are you so old school? Is that attached to a Discman, mate? What's going on?
Well, because I'm using a HP and Bluetooth doesn't mix with my earpods, and I haven't purchased the mic yet, so I'm staying old school.
He's being left behind. He's in the PC generation, mate.
Cash only.
How's this? He said that, and literally Siri started listening
I found
in.
this on the web for his being left
So
behind
fuck off,
in
Siri.
the PC generation. Check
Mate,
it
I'm
out.
going back to my Nokia. All right?
Mate,
good.
Siri's now tracking you. She's going to start putting Max all up in your thing there.
Oh, wait.
But anyway,
That's a whole
Put some
different
AirPods
conversation
to you.
altogether.
mate, we'll just he needs a sponsorship. Apple, we're on right now. Mina needs a sponsorship. Hook us up. Hell, I'll take one. Our third member, the physiotherapist extraordinaire, the internet knife fight master, Mr. Ben Humphries. How are we, brother?
I'm good. I'm going good. I'm tired, but I think we've got a good topic to speak about today. So I'm excited for what we're going to chat about.
We are, mate. And so today's hot topic, it's going to be a quick, hard, fast. There's going to be a lot of info. So make sure you're writing it down or paying attention. You'll probably listen to this one a couple of times. We are talking about strengthening your brand, whether that's business, personal, whatever it is, to make sure that whether it's times of plenty or uncertainty, you're doing well. And then I'm going to caveat that on the back end. It's also the strengthen your brand without getting in fucking trouble from AHPRA. Mina doesn't have this problem. He's not registered under AHPRA.
Oh, we will soon. With this whole
bad thing.
Well,
Hopefully they come across to Allied Health. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
reckon
with
you're on
this
your
whole
way.
transition, we're on our way. But it's good for my therapists as well and anyone kind of in this space. We're all considered allied health. So personally, I think we should all be following the same rules.
I agree.
And I think Mayo's out there. We're learning a lot because a lot of it is changing. It is a new industry, and we need to kind of be in line with you guys. So
Well, mate, I
All
can tell you over
regulated.
here in WA, I was talking to
it's a
Chris, like,
pre-warning for us.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
I reckon,
It's not fun, Mina.
Yeah, I
I was like, I
know.
reckon we need some Mayo over here in WA. I was like, because there's no Mayos. It's not, doesn't exist in Western Australia, I swear. I was like, so no, mate, I was like, I'm thinking about, once I get the business a bit busy, I'll get a Mayo in. He's like, man, there's no Mayos over here. That doesn't exist. I was just like, oh.
They won't know what the word means.
They don't.
A lot of people still don't.
Yeah.
I've been trying to educate this for ages, and well, perfect segment. Perfect segue.
That's why we did the Remember how we did What is a Myotherapist when you
Yeah.
first started working with us?
Yeah.
That was
I'm gonna
over a
reshare
year
that
ago.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's a legit issue. But yeah. And
You had hair then.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
That's how long ago it was. He had a full ponytail. Looked a bit like old Tony Montana. But yeah, and obviously, before we go on, national accreditation is an extremely awesome and important thing. And there are blanket rules because they're ideally for everybody.
Generalist.
Yeah, but there are obviously, like we're seeing right now in the midst of this COVID climate with the whole JobKeeper things, when you have certain regulations, there's always things that sneak through the cracks and create issues. So it's just part of the deal in a system that's best for most. But let's get on topic before we go down some kind of giant rant like I did last week. What stuff people are trying to talk on their phone and cars. When we're thinking, right now, it's an really interesting time. There is a lot of concern over where the economy is going. For most of us, even though we are an essential service, air quote for this one, we are considered a luxury in many, many facets, right? Even though people are in pain and have issues, actually dealing with those issues is a luxury. We're buying a slab on the weekend is just a necessity. So with the time where people are probably going to be bringing their money down, and we know Ben needs his VBs on the weekend, how can we strengthen the brand
Need
to
it.
make sure that we're still busy regardless of the time?
Very, very good. I think I'm happy to lead in here.
Go, bro.
Go for it.
You can never
Of
go
course he
wrong.
is. He's keen.
with a
He's loving it. He's itching. Come on, Benny.
You can never go wrong
1,200
with
clients. Come on.
a strong personal brand or a strong business brand, right? That's the aim of the game, right? Strong brand means you're a solvent, viable, successful, growing business. So we have every reason to make sure we strengthen our brand and our personal brand or whatever as much as we can. But nowadays we have, as Nath said, we're in this bit of limbo at the moment where the economy is about to topple over. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Are we going to print another $20 trillion to inflate the economy? Who knows what's going to happen, right? But what we do know is that we're all still going to be working, and that we need clients and we need cash flow to make sure our businesses stay afloat, make sure we can, buy food for ourselves, buy a slab on the weekend. So where we're going with this is like, there's several avenues you can go down to strengthen your business. Obviously, you want to start from the inside out, having a valuable service that people want and people are willing to pay for. Now, there's some sales psychology, business psychology around purchasing things. That's right. When value exceeds price, that's when you will make the sale, right? The sale for us is a transaction, the client coming in, perceiving and believing that our service is more valuable than the money that they have in their hand. Now, as we all mentioned, some industries have been shut down. Money spending throughout the economy is slowed right down. Nath said we're often considered a luxury as an allied health service, and often we're put on the back burner, right? And that's what we've seen, especially with personal training, gyms, all that sort of thing. There's been a forceful shutdown, but obviously people are saving their pennies and spending the money on, food, utilities, rent, etc. So for me, like, where you gotta make sure your brand's strong across the board, but especially strong across the board where you do a lot of your marketing and a lot of your selling. So, for example, we're all the same here, especially myself. I smashed Instagram, so I'm like, I need to make sure my business looks strong, looks healthy, looks growing, looks valuable all across my Instagram platform, social media platform. So therefore, I'm going to be spitting out content that may be somewhat controversial at times, but quite valuable. It's seen, you seem to be working with the right people. You seem to be busy all the time. Like, and that's sharing sometimes of the social proof. But where Nath mentioned before is that you can. This is where AHPRA comes in. So AHPRA are the Australian health regulatory body who govern all allied health professionals and medical professionals. So doctors, nurses, physios, chiros, osteos, etc. And they basically say what you can and can't do. Now, a big thing amongst allied health professionals and anyone under AHPRA is that you cannot share client testimonials. The client can't say, hey, I went and saw Nathan, I had a really stiff neck and he gave me an adjustment. After one session, I was fixed. Unfortunately, we can't do that, but that would also be fantastic if we could, and it would be a massive promotion for our business. But for some reason, we all know why, we can't do it, but it's illegal to do, and you can be really slapped quite hard for it.
And I'll jump on that one. So for anyone who doesn't know why that is a rule, is you can't create an undue expectation of a result, because the simple fact is, well, as AHPRA has dictated, is that everybody is an individual. So what works for one may not work for the other.
Yeah.
And so the problem with the testimonial, and we've seen this because testimonial, is the cornerstone of all advertising. I know when I was building my website and building stuff and you're working with a marketing person, they're like, all right, so we need to get testimonials on your website. I was like, we can't do that. It's illegal. And I remember doing this years back, and my marketing person was just like, well,
what do we do?
I was like, so what else can we do, like, to make sure we're marketing? He's like, so testimonial. I was like, we can't do testimonials. They're like, they had nothing else. Like,
results.
This is why, like, this is a little side point. But if you're going to work with someone to help social media and help your like website to do for your brand, they better know what they're talking about, and they better have experience in your industry, because you're liable for anything on there. And I have seen an example of a chiropractor who actually knew who was, listen, he was an odd cat already, so I don't 100% blame his web designer, but on his website, it said that his care could cure cancer, which, if you didn't pick that up, you're an idiot for a start. But literally, he caught like a 50 grand fine and got deregistered. So like, and he argued that he wasn't aware of it and that it was
I don't care what your intention is.
It doesn't matter. It's on your website. You own it. It's your problem. Correct. It's the same. If your staff post
anything
stuff
connected to you, yeah.
If you post stuff on your personal Instagram or Facebook, it is still liable under AHPRA. So branding, the simple truth is, once you become a brand, your brand stretches across everything you touch and everything you're involved with. So
I think probably I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but I think they're allowed to talk about like your professionalism in the clinic.
Yeah.
They can talk about your cleanliness of the clinic.
They're not allowed to talk about treatment and treatment outcomes. So you can definitely leave a review.
So these are the sorts of testimonials you can.
That's a real cool place.
It's tricky, yeah.
The vibe's awesome. Crafty. It's always nice and clean. The problem is,
fucking,
if
he does strength and conditioning.
If someone leaves a testimonial like that on your website, and AHPRA's having a look, they know you're requesting them, right? Like no patient is sitting there being like, man, I can't wait to tell people how clean this guy's office is. So
5-star,
really, man,
clean.
Oh man, like it's
in this day and age with all the stuff that's happening at the moment, they want to see cleanliness.
Well, we've got a very unique thing, and the sad truth is, I really do think when it is we come out of this, whether it's a month or 2 years from now, it'll be a week before people forget and go back to the way they were. That's just how human beings are.
I think to add to that, my therapist Remedial, we've been in a bit of a battle in the last, we've been in quarantine now for 6 weeks, I think. We've been in a battle of, you don't fall under Medicare, you're not allied health. Yes, you are, you're not. Yeah. So we've been told 6 times on and off. So I think it's a really good opportunity for us to learn from it as myos and, liaise with osteos, physios, chiros, and understand exactly what these guys are going through. Because if we don't learn and pick up now, we're going to find the transition really, 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 really difficult, right? So at the moment, I do it now, but I'm really mindful that I stopped doing it in terms of, I felt fantastic. I felt awesome. And you kind of don't want to play the system too much either. You do want to be authentic and follow the rules, because if you get deregistered for keep taking the piss, there's your business.
It's a heavy consequence, that's for sure.
And even if you're not deregistered, the cash stuff is big.
Exactly.
I have another colleague that had his license pulled basically without trial, and it cost them $150,000 before he got his license back, and time, and not to mention the time that he would have been earning. So we need to be real. Again, AHPRA is a really actually good thing and is here to support us, but there are times where things go poorly. So your best thing to do is just don't get on the radar. Don't do if you can, listen, we all stuff up, right? Like Benny boy, listen, we all have made and done things where you didn't might realize. Like I've posted stuff, you're doing some treatment work, and you're like, this is going to get, the person's like, man, this has worked so well for my thing, just in the video. You're not even thinking about it. And you realize past date that, hey, that probably would have got a violation. But if you're obvious, there's so many crew that are running like obvious testimonial stuff where you're just like, come on, man. No, because the simple truth is the people that will report it are other practitioners, right?
Correct.
I know we're going down a tangent here. Because
it's important to talk about.
Clients don't
know. They don't give a fuck either. They give a fuck about getting better. Yeah. They're not going to report you for getting them better.
Well, here's the truth of it, right? I can tell you for an example. My mother's a midwife. She referred one of her clients to a physiotherapist. For some post some pelvic. I think it was pelvic floor or something like that, right? And this woman refused to see the physio because there was no testimonials or reviews on their page. And when my mum explained to them, it's like, it's illegal for them to have it. She's like, I won't see someone
it's illegal.
that doesn't have record. No, even after being told, Still,
Yeah.
the public don't care. They won't go
Because it's
unless
not
they've had
normal.
recommendations.
Everyone has testimonials.
That's what businesses run on. Like they said, it's a
Yeah.
pivotal, fundamental part of your business is to preach your results. Now, our results come in the form of testimonies. So
Yeah.
we're kind of fucked.
Well, this is
Unless
where I've,
you
But,
get
but
really
it makes sense
crafty.
why we can't though,
yeah,
because
it
you
makes
know,
sense.
yeah.
But this is where I've gotten into
I
like,
wouldn't argue it today, but yeah.
yeah, I've gotten into Ben-esque knife fights before ironically, with a couple of personal trainers because they were like, I was like talking about stuff and they're like, yeah, well, prove to us, show us some results of you actually fixing that stuff. I was like, I can't. And they're like, see, it's because you're no good. And I'm like, no, it's because legally I can't.
Fuck you. I am good.
It is illegal for me to have things. And they're like, oh, it's just shit. I was like, well, actually, mate, one, your results are horseshit anyway. Like, you just got different camera angles. But two, some of us actually have like an accurate registration. Not against any PTs here, but if you're thinking like this,
It's the
you're a
Wild
fuckwit
West.
for a start.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if you got your degree out of a cereal packet, like, don't start coming at me because I will put you down real fast.
Don't come around here. Come around here, mate. Yeah, 100%.
So for people that are starting businesses, what are some avenues that we should be taking?
Yeah.
Obviously legally bound.
Some angles as well,
So I know us three are kind of at different levels of starting business, and at the time money is poor. You know, you got so many expenses, even though like I've got a good mate of mine, Leo, who's a fantastic marketer, and he really prides himself on being on Google, and I believe everything he says when you got to spend the money, and I get
Expensive,
it. Sometimes you just might not have that cash flow ready.
Yeah.
So what are some options, right? So some of the things that I've done that really helps me out, and like I said, it's free. Sign up to all your local communities, all right? Get in contact with all the Facebook groups.
Relevant communities, I think. Sorry to cut you off, bro. Like,
Yeah.
who would you specifically hear? I know we spoke about it before. Like, are we going to go to like a cafe, or are we going to go to a doctor's clinic, or are we going to go down to a local gym when they're running, or do we go down to other allied health practitioners? Who is your go-to?
Yeah,
all of them.
I agree.
Yeah, priority for me.
Personally, for me, it depends on your target niche, right? Yeah. It depends on your target niche. So, for example, I've got Chelsea, who's in all the mums and bubs communities, all right, because she does pregnancy treatment and all that sort of thing, right? Sean's got all the yoga communities, all the cyclists, because that's what he does.
Interests, that's right.
Yeah.
Correct, right? For me, I'm into the soccer clubs, the footy clubs, the PTs, the bodybuilders, the gym owners, right? That's all my niche, okay? Adrian, my osteo, he's going to the older age care group, the retirement homes.
Yeah.
He looks at all that. So depending on the type of person and what so depending on your type of niche, like I had a lady just call me before. She suffers from fibromyalgia. I said, how did you find me? She goes off on the community page, right?
Dang, that's so good.
Yeah. So these are the sorts of things. And then when you start to make some money, you got to be on Google. Like it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. That's really good. That's really specific, like actionable stuff. And it's right. Hey, I know we could always do a part to this because we've only got another 10 minutes. But and I think the way you go about it is very important because as I said, we can't necessarily promote our results, but like any exchange of business or money or services or whatever it may be, it's just like, well, look. You sound like a fair dude, an ethical dude, a moral dude, and you sound like a good bloke. My neck is a bit stiff at the moment. Why not come down and give it a crack? I think it's a big part of it is the communication and the delivery. It's like you don't go in and just go, hey, can I have all your clients? You go in and say, hey, like my name's Mina. I'm just started a business up the road. We're always looking for new clients, but I'm always looking for how I can help you. Now, it might seem a bit weird, but like, what's your details? Like if they're a doctor and allied professional, I say, I need a doctor here. So can I start sending clients to you? He's like, fuck, this guy's turned up. He's introduced himself. He sounds like a ripper bloke. He's actually come and offered me clients off the bat and he didn't even ask for clients back.
Yeah.
And he's given me a free treatment to say, come and try my stuff. It's like, why wouldn't I send clients to this bloke?
Yeah. It's actually like people make it seem like it's a lot harder than it is. Like if you're willing to spend the time and you're willing to, if your primary goal is to help others first, Like when I reached out to gyms, physios, everything, it was to find out what they did, what kind of clients they liked, so I could send people to them, not so I could try and drag people from them, right? Like it's obvious when someone's just trying to like get business, when you're actually interested in trying to help people, right? And that's the big thing. And I think first up, you have to be less picky, and I mean that respectfully. Like you need to hit your niche, but you also need to be willing to go a bit beyond it. Because unfortunately, the simple fact is, it's kind of like when you first start a business, it's like throwing mud at the wall, right? Like you just got to go with whatever sticks. When you're further along, you can be choosy, but first up, you've just got to go. And for me, Nathan, the number one way,
you're correct, because when I first started, mate, I bought my $10 trolley from the $2 shop. I had my table on my back. All right. And I literally walked, I literally walked to every single house offering my treatment at a very small price, right? This is Mina. This is what I do. This is what I'm renowned for. Give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity. I got told no probably 9 out of 10 homes. Okay.
Yeah. And that's great because
one person that said yes ended up owning the soccer club that I ended up being 5 years into, which then merged me into the gym, which then merged me into the bodybuilding next.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly right.
And one thing that you've done, Nath, like you've moved, not clinics, states. Right? And you've gone and done like your series with all the different cafes and businesses and things that you've done. I felt that was just phenomenal. So it's good.
And it's paid dividend. Like I'll play full out. I've already had new clients sent to me just because they saw me do videos. Like it's not that hard. And we're at a time where normally my biggest strategy, and I'll be fully transparent, is I speak to these places and then I offer to go do talks at them. And I'm very comfortable talking in front of people. I've spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours doing it. And I usually am pretty good at dropping an offer in there and people coming in. Like in Geelong, we did a talk once and we had 40 new people come in from it in a room. Like we signed up 50% of the room, right? Like on the spot. And that wasn't even people that came in later on. So it's a very quick and easy way to build a business. It was actually too many people at once because we didn't have slots to get everybody in.
Too much demand, mate.
It was just out of control for a while. But it's like if getting in front of people is number one. Now it's harder right now because it's very hard to get in front of people, but it doesn't mean you can't
come back.
Do it virtually, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be ready and waiting for when it does come back. As soon as it's there, it's like everything. We have marketing is like having a bunch of different taps, and at certain times some are on, some are off, or some are just trickling. And you want to have that because you want to be able to, when you need to, when things aren't good, like now, to turn them all on. And then once things are getting too busy and you don't need them, you turn them down. This is like, all right, I'm going well. I don't need to be dumping money on Facebook ads. I don't need to be dumping money on Google right now. I can scale that back and just go in over here. I mean, the simplest thing, and the one that we all forget, is simply asking your current clients for referrals.
Yeah. Can you tell one person about me? Just one, please. If you believe in what I do and you like me, tell one person about me. That's
already on board
straight away.
Yeah. And I've got one of my good mates who will get on the podcast at some stage, Dylan, who's an ex-Fizz. He's very good at this stuff. So what I've been working with him in is my email train. So I have an email marketing system that the time someone comes into the clinic, we start. It hasn't gone in yet, but it will come soon. So if anyone who's listening who's from
into the system,
you missed out. It has like a successive, and it's sort of like, it's like, hey, thanks for coming in. Awesome to meet you. Then it's like, hey, here's a bit more about me. Go watch this video. And then there's number 3, which is when they've had their report, which then they've had all the info come through and they've probably learned a bunch of stuff. And it's that like, hey, you probably learned a lot today. And I know when I first saw a chiro, I had the same thing. And then there was 3 things that I thought of. And one was, hey, you know, he would really benefit from this X person. And then it'd be someone like another thing you hit was like, you know, I also thought, hey, I know someone who's perhaps not getting the benefit from their treatment, the other treatment they're getting, or they're not enjoying the facility. Or number 3, I know you've always liked chiro, but some people don't for whatever reason. And you probably know someone in one of those 3 categories. And if you do, here's an offer for you to send them in. And as a secondary
sales, it's good.
Yeah, you better believe one of the big things I'm rolling in at the moment Because the biggest mistake I think we make in business is all business, and you see this constantly on like TV, businesses reward new clients. They don't reward loyal clients.
Yeah.
And so I give this person a special to send in their friend. But what is that? What are they getting? Like, so gifting your clients is one of the best things you can do. And like,
so I like that a lot because I've just started drafting a campaign around thanking my referrers, because I'm trying to really force all my clients to put the referral source. So let's say I put a report and I get to see.
So
and I've got some people that have referred me like 20, 30 clients.
Come in for like 2 free sessions,
and have been with me for
whatever.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a buy for one, 2 for 1 offers.
I'm the opposite to Ben. I'm going to jump on this. I won't do free sessions. Now let me explain. Like I've been in a clinic we did, and I think it works well. And this is just a personal thing.
Yeah.
So I avoid doing free sessions because you don't want to reduce the value of what we're doing. But also, one of the big things I track is random metrics on people. So like what they're into, all these things. So you could give someone a free session, right? And it's valued at, I don't know, your session maybe anywhere from $60 to $100, depending on what it is. That's got money out of your pocket. But you might know that Wendy, who sent you 10 clients, really loves like wine. She's a big red wine drinker, big fan.
Affiliate
That's good. That's actually a really good idea.
So I can buy her this bottle of, I just buy her like a nice bottle of wine. It only costed me $50. So it saved me money. But it was super unique, and you better believe Wendy's sharing that.
Personalized.
It's personalized. And it's multiple.
And it's a gift too, which is that's
you can
good.
bulk buy stuff.
Hey,
I got you these tickets to the footy because I know that's your team, and I know you wanted to go. You know, like
I like that.
I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah.
There's a great book by John Ruhlin called Giftology. Listen, it's written a bit odd, but one of the things he talks about is he secured this huge business thing he used to work for like a knife company, and he was starting his business. And he went and met this CEO for a quick meeting. And after the meeting, he sent this CEO a custom knife with the inscription, "Thank you for carving out the time with me." And
I've heard of that. That's awesome. Yeah.
None of his, and he never put your logo. No one wants to like promote you. Like never put your stuff on it. It's personal. But the guy after that, Locke gave him like $1 million worth of business because he's like, I use that knife every day with my family for cooking. Like the thing, like I see it every time, and it reminds us of you.
Yeah.
Like you can leverage, and you're not doing it just for business. You're doing it because people generally appreciate it, but it pays dividends. And if you like, one of the cornerstone things here, I know we've really gone a lot off topic, and we're going to have to run a second episode on this, but you should know your lifetime value for every client. I know it sounds really
I love that.
dirty and businessy, but you should be able to work out your
you're taking
PBA,
the time to invest in them.
your per visit average.
What are they worth to you?
Over a 6-month period, how many new patients did you see? How many follow-ups did you see? Divide it. All right. I see the average person that comes to me, I will see them 10 times or something over this thing, which means they are worth to me
price.
$800 per person on average. Every new patient that comes and sees me is going to be worth $800, $400, whatever it is. It can be anywhere, and this is the way you can get better in business. But I had one of my old coach, every client that came saw him, their lifetime value, and this is not including the people they could refer you, was about $2,500. Now this was about a decade ago, because people, most of his clients, as a chiro, when they came to him, because of all the work he did and how well he did it, they stayed on for maintenance work, right? So most of his clients he'd been there for, I think it was 11 years. He still had majority of the clients he started seeing 11 years ago still doing regular work with him. So he knows that you can then, if you knew that, and you can guarantee it to a point,
how valuable they are.
You can literally spend $1,000 to get a new client and you're still making money, right?
Still winning.
So if you know your PBA, you know what every referral is worth to you, you know how much money you can allot and still be coming out in front. And so he can afford to be like, hey, this month I'm going to do some special. I'm going to put like a $2,500 gift package together, and we're going to have a monthly draw. And like, if you turn up for your adjustment, you get 1 entry. If you refer me someone, you get 5 entries. He gets one person and he's already cleared it. but you have to know the numbers.
I love this shit.
Like, you got to it sounds like, because we're in health and I know we all want to help people and we get really stressed about talking about money.
It's
But
business,
money is it's just proof that you're helping people. People pay you to help them. And I'm as shitty with like taking money as the next person, right? Like I'll be the first, and I'm talking big game here, but I'm useless at it at times.
Yeah.
But the simple fact is, like, there's literal research to show that the more people pay, the more they believe they're going to get a result, which is annoying at times. But it's a reminder that, like, we charge what we charge because we bring value. People stay with us because we bring consistent value. Like, if you're lying to people to get them to stay with you, like, that shit's never going to work, right?
It's unethical business.
It's unethical business, but beyond that, people eventually are like, it's like a used car salesman. You're like,
it fucking works against you in the long run. The lifetime value of that is zero.
Well,
negative, actually.
It reminds me of Step Brothers, where they're interviewing for the job. And he's like, man, I just wanted some cool people I can hang out with. And the dude farts. And he's like, oh, just fart. And then he's like, actually, now this is kind of fucked up. Like, it's that moment where you started, you're excited, and you were like really loving it. And then suddenly you're like, actually, there's some stink here. And I suddenly realized something's wrong, right? But that's it. So if you know your numbers, you then have a position where you can start to work from. And I'm the first one. We just started. Like, we opened for 2.5 weeks and had to close for another 4 straight after it. Cash flow is at an all-time low. All right? Like, but it doesn't mean we can't do simple shit. Would you like a coffee? Oh, we've got a place across the road. It's one of the best bottle shops in WA. But they also sell a bunch of like cool snacks, including these really like, I'm going to air quote, healthy ice creams. I can just buy it Friday afternoon. Come in. Ice cream's on me. One of my colleagues does a Friday afternoon. You can come in, and on your way out, there's a cheese board and a beer if you want it. It's good Friday afternoon beers and brie. You come in on Friday afternoon, you might as well get a can for the road home. Like, you can do simple shit that just breeds loyalty, and it costs you nothing. At the end of the day, you got a few cans for your drive home as well. Well, not driving, but after you get home anyway.
You're right.
Apparently I'm against talking while driving, but not drinking. Go on.
Awesome.
No, I got a client now, so
that's great. I think we covered some good shit today. So I think part 2 of part 3 is to come. Yeah,
I reckon we'll have to run this through. It's too like, this is what we want. Like, it's exciting. I think there's so much more here, and I hope anyone listening. I really hope, even though this went a bit all over the shop, I hope you really got some good stuff there, because there's some absolute gems, I think, from all of us in there, and something's definitely worth a bit of a multi-listen. So, as always, if you enjoyed it, give it a share. We love seeing it up on the gram, on the story, but tag us in. We really appreciate it. Share it with friends so they can get help too. Our goal here is always, we're building a better health industry. That is the goal, right? We're not here because we just want to talk and talk shit. We want to build a better health industry for practitioners and for people. So give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your thing. Podcast, that is. And I'll see you soon. It's been a pleasure as always, boys.
Thanks, guys.